Hello everyone, welcome to LetsDevOps. I am Sumit and today we are going to discuss about how to reference an existing resource in Azure Bicep. So in this tutorial, first we'll understand what is existing resource, then we'll understand the existing keyword, followed by the architecture, and we'll also understand the different scope available in Azure Bicep. Now let's start. So first is what is the existing resource. So any resource which is already created or deployed in Azure, we call it as an existing resource. Now coming to the existing keyword helps to declare already created resource. So when you want to reference the already created resource, we use the existing keyword in a resource. Now coming to the architecture, so we have two parts. One the existing resource and the second is the create resource. So existing resource is nothing but the resource where it's already exists, and the create resource is like the resource which we are going to create. So in Azure Bicep, if you want to make use of the existing resource while creating a new resource, then we'll use the existing keyword. So as for example, assume that I want to create a web app, and to create a web app I need to have a app service plan. So either I need to create app service plan or I need to refer already existing app service plan. So in this case, I need to declare already existing app service plan with the help of the existing keyword, and this is the syntax where we need to use the resource, the symbolic name, the resource type, and the existing keyword, and with the name of the resource. So when we declare this in a bicep, while creating a web app, it will refer the already created resource. So we have also a same scope and different scope. Same scope is nothing but when you want to create a resource and the reference resource both are in the same resource group, then we call it as a same scope. Different scope is nothing but when you want to create a resource and the resource which is you are going to refer in a different resource group or a subscription, then we call it as a different scope. So that we will see in our demo as well. So coming to the syntax, here if you notice, we have the same way when we create a resource, but we need to add existing. So with the help of existing, the bicep will understand we are going to refer it. We are not going to create the resource. So it is the same like a resource, symbolic name, resource type, and with the help of existing keyword we will declare that. Now coming to the scope. So it is important for us to understand the scope of already existing resource. Like assume that if you want to create a resource which is going to reference the another resource, then we need to make sure that we understand the scope, whether it exists in the same resource group or whether it exists in a different resource group or different subscription itself. So there are two types of scope. One is the same scope and the second is a different scope. Same scope is nothing but when you want to create a resource and the reference resource in the same resource group, then we call it as a same scope. Different scope when you want to create a resource and the reference resource is in a different resource group or a different subscription, then we call it as a different scope. In this demo, we are going to cover two scenarios. First, where we'll create a web app where the referenced app service plans will exist in the same resource group. That will cover the same scope scenario. In the second scenario, we'll try to create a web app where the referenced app service plan exists in a different resource group. So that will cover for a different scope. So let's start. So for the first scenario, I'm going to create a web app in the same resource group where the app service plan exists. That we define as a same scope. So if you notice here in this resource group, I have already created app service plan, and now I'll try to create a web app while referring this already existing app service plan. So let me start. Okay, let me create a web app.bicep file, and here let's create a web app. So website. So here the resource keyword and then the symbolic name, we call it as a demo web app, and then the type is website, and this is the equal to sign. So to create this web app, I need to provide the name of the web app, maybe demo, okay, test 3, and then the location, and then I have to define the property where I need to define the server form ID. So now since I'm not going to create the app service plan, I need to declare it, right? I need to define it, the app service plan ID. So for that we need to use the existing keyword. So let's declare the already created app service plan, which is here. I'll just copy this name, and I'll start with the resource keyword. The same is the ASP demo, the symbolic name, and then server file is for server form. And then here we need to use the existing keyword, right? So with that, it will understand this resource already exists, and while creating this web app, it will going to refer or attach this particular app service plan. So let's give the name which I have copied, and since we are going to create in the same resource group, we haven't defined anything, so it means that it is in the same scope. Okay, so and now here we can provide the ID, right? Okay, so now let's run that. So let me first connect to Azure account. Here I have not defined as a parameter. It is asking say to declare as a parameter. If you want to learn how to declare a parameter and variable, I have created another video. I have added the link in the video description, so you can check it out. So now I need to connect to Azure. And let me try to do a new Azure resource group deployment name is test, and let's define the template file which is exist in the web app, right? Web app. And then the resource group name is okay. So currently it is running. So if you want to check whether it is running, you can always come to the resource group, and then you can go to that the deployments. Here you see it is running currently, and let's go back. So it's still running. So now here, if you maybe once it runs successful, you'll be seeing the new web app. So it's currently running and it is succeeded now, so I hope we will be able to see in a couple of minutes. Yeah, now you notice here this app service plan, this web app is being created now. So since this this app service plan also exists in the same resource group, we define that as a same scope. So now let's try to create in a different scope, right? Now let's start for the second scenario where we are going to refer this particular app service plan. Since this app service plan in this particular resource group SRS div demo, but I'll create the web app in this particular resource group. So this is kind of a scenario for a different scope. So I'll go to that the web app bicep file, and here I will define another ESP demo diff, and then again the server form, okay, and again existing, and the name which I have copied already, so I'll just paste it here. Since this resource exists in a different resource group, so in this case what I'm going to do, I need to define the scope, right? And since it is in a different resource group, I need to put the name of the resource group, and that I need to pick it from here. So it is in SRS diff demo, and here I'll just put it in there. Okay, now I'll create another web app where I'll give a reference to the second one, right? So let me give the second, this is the second one, and this maybe phone. And here if you notice, I'm going to reference this particular app service plan. Okay, so let's run this, and then SRSRG. Okay, so let's go to the SRSRG. Okay, now I've triggered that deployment. So in this case, what will happen? It will create a web app in this particular resource group, while it will refer the app service plan from this resource group. It means that we have covered the different scope as well. Okay, so let it run. Okay, I see there is an issue. US not found. Resource not registering. That is not the error. The resource will not be the value. East US. Okay, so it has an error. Yeah. It has error. Okay, sorry. I've missed that equal to. And then again, now we need to deploy it again. So now it is running. Let's see if something is happening here or not. Source group. Okay, so the deployments, and then here we should see, yeah, it is running currently. And once it completes, we should see a new web app. So it is completed now. And maybe it will come in few seconds. Okay, now you see this web app is created, and now it is referring to the app service plan. This is the diff one, right? This is one which is existing in a different resource group. Okay, so that's all for the demo. So in this tutorial, first we learned what is the existing resource, how we can refer existing resource in Azure Bicep, followed by the architecture, and we also discussed different scope available in Azure Bicep. So in our demo, we discussed two different scenarios. First, where we created a web app with already existing app service plan in a current or a same scope, and in the second scenario, we created a web app with already existing app service plan in a different scope. So thanks for watching this video. I hope this was helpful. If you have any issue or concern, you can write in the comment box. I have attached the link of the blog and the GitHub code in the video description.